Well, welcome back in for part 2 of 13 days, the binding. And so we're going to get started today with getting the inside of the covers sewed, all the fabric pieces sewed together. So here I'm just sewing these upholstery samples together, and then I will get it adhered to the inside of the cover. So you're going to really see me struggle quite a bit with this cover as I'm getting it adhered. I'm clipping it, and then I have to wait for it to dry, and then I go back and I do some more. And this was when I learned an awesome little trick. So the E6000 is the same way as the Fabri-Tac. You can heat set it. Like tack set it with heat. So you'll see this discovery right in this little clip here of me going back and forth between gluing, clipping it, letting it sit for a little while, then coming back to it. And then I get tired of that, so I try to see if heat will help it, and sure enough, discovery, and I've been using it ever since. So I'm just getting these flaps of excess fabric cut down on my inside of my cover before I go in to handle the blind bound edge. I knew that I was going to use something on these edges eventually. I just didn't know what at this point, but I knew that they would really be in my way. So I did go ahead and just cut them down. So a blind bound end is so that you do not see the securing method from the outside. So here I'm just going to use an additional piece of the same fabric that I'm using for the inside of the cover as my end piece to sew my signature into. So now that signature of all those pages is adhered to the bound end, I can actually work with that separate from the cover, which will kind of make it easier in the long run as I'm working in the journal on the pages. So this is the actual pamphlet, and I'm just pulling these pages out and I'm going to get them prepared for adding them to my inside pages of the actual journal. Part of the thing is this, on this collaborative, part of the requirements was that it was black and white, and these are definitely stained with age, have that wonderful vintage kind of color to them. So I really needed to bring them back to white before I start working on them. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover them in some of the pages in gesso, as well as the cover, which does have that blue vintage patina on it as well. I did notice that these covers really soaked up a lot of gesso, so I will end up going back in later and adding gesso to them, because they did just keep wanting that ink or whatever that was, just wanted to keep coming to the surface. So here I'm just using some matte gel medium to adhere the covers to the inside of the covers. It was really my goal to use all or as much of this original pamphlet throughout this journal.